Have you ever told a lie before? Me first, yes, and it totally changed my life. Hey, I'm Mira. Please like and subscribe. At school, I'm kind of known for my grades, but not so much for anything else. I do well in class, but I'm not exactly outgoing enough to have a crowd of friends. I don't really mind. I live with my grandma in a small house. We don't have much. She takes on extra babysitting gigs, and I work part-time delivering pizza for a crazy busy shop up the street. Everything we earn goes into my college savings. One day, we noticed a van parked across the street for a while.
Looks like we've got new neighbors.
It was a classy-looking family, and their daughter stood out right away. She looked a little older than me. Beautiful, graceful, totally book-smart, like someone straight off a Harvard banner. And when she showed up with a basket of muffins, I knew it was really her. You're Zoey, the one who got a full ride to Harvard for some science project, right? I don't remember the details, but that's you, isn't it?
It wasn't a big deal. Really?
No way. Your face was all over the news. People look up to you like big time. Zoey's humility just made me admire her more. From that moment on, she became my someday go. I rode the scooter into the fancy part of town to drop off a pizza. I stopped at Mr. Cranston's house, a super polite guy who always tips well, and rang the bell.
I'm done. I swear. Your son is beyond impossible.
The yelling was coming from next door. A girl in her 20s was standing in the yard, absolutely fuming.
Hold on. If you leave now, you lose your payment.
No offense, madam. $200 an hour is amazing, but unless your son gets an exorcism, I'm never coming back.
Then she stormed off in a sleek car while I was still mentally chewing on the drama I'd just witnessed.
Not surprise. That house eats tutors alive. Longest one lasted a week.
He handed me a $20 tip, and I rode off. But I couldn't stop thinking about that $200 an hour. Back home, I spotted Zoey reading on her front steps. Figured it wouldn't hurt to ask a genius for advice, so I told her everything. I mean, what if they expect a lot? I've never tutored before.
You've got the knowledge. You can totally do it. And if you have to stretch the truth a bit, go for it.
Stretch the truth?
It's not lying. It's just highlighting your strong points.
So I took the leap. Thanks to Mr. Cranston, I landed an interview with that family.
You say you've got extensive tutoring experience, and I've seen your academic records. Very impressive. But my son Abby is difficult. You're the 10th tutor this month.
I understand, madam. I truly believe I can help your little kid.
He's 18.
What? While she walked me to his room, she kept talking about how I could start him off with basics, like freshman-level work.
He dropped out after his first year of high school, and he hasn't really left the house since.
I pictured some scary guy covered in tattoos, but instead, he was sitting perfectly straight at his desk, back facing the door. Hi, I'm Mira.
You tutor? Figures.
My jaw legit dropped. The guy looked like he belonged on a magazine cover, not in a dropout vial.
Let me guess. First time tutoring?
My stomach twisted. How did he know?
Ooh, look miserable. It's written all over your face.
I rushed to a mirror while he laughed behind me.
You're not cut out for this.
Instead of snapping back, I just felt small, embarrassed, a little rushed. Just give me a chance, okay? I swear I'll do everything I can to help you. He stared right at me, but didn't say a word. And that night, I got "No, you're fired" text from his mom. The next day, I showed up twice as nervous, but that paycheck could change everything for us.
I'm keeping your secret, but not 'cause I think you can teach me. Just tell my mom I'm doing better. That way she backs off both of us.
You want me to lie to your mom?
Not a lie. I thought you were good at this game.
I didn't answer, just sat there, feeling awful. One lie was already turning into two. Was I becoming the bad guy?
Just do what you're good at.
So we started, but it didn't take long to figure out Abby already knew everything. If you're so smart, why not just go back to school?
That's none of your business.
The tension between us was electric, but no matter what, I had a job to do. Whether he listened or not, one rainy afternoon, I was biking like crazy toward Abby's house. Well, I just got off my miserable pizza shift and my knee was bleeding like heck.
You're late. That's very unprofessional.
I'm really sorry, madam. I bowed my head, trying to hide the mess on my leg.
If this happens again, I'll have to reconsider.
It won't, I promise. Abby was at his desk as usual, cool as ever. He barely looked up when I walked in. Then, just for a second, he set a soft towel on my head.
Don't want your flu germs. Also, I've got bandages. That injury looks kinda rough.
That's when I noticed the blood had already soaked through my long skirt, and I don't know why, but suddenly I just broke down crying. I'm just trying so hard to make it to college.
So now you think I'm a loser for dropping out when I had every opportunity.
I looked him in the eyes for the first. Deep down, yeah, I had judged him like that. But after that day, Abby wasn't cold anymore. He actually paid attention when I taught, and that seemed to reassure his mom about me, about us, though sometimes he'd still throw questions I had no clue how to answer. That's not fair. That's college-level stuff. 3 months went by. We were way closer now. One night, I must have dozed off while giving Abby his routine quiz. When I woke up, he was gone, and the strap of a shirt had slipped off my shoulder. Did he cover me with his jacket? The test paper was finished in, like, less than a fifth of the time allotted, and next to it were piles of notes on advanced science topics I could barely wrap my brain around. Are you working on a science project? I think this could totally get you into Harvard. I asked after class ended.
Harvard's a joke. No offense. Used to be my dream, too, but not anymore.
Did something happen?
I got expelled from high school.
Expelled? For what?
Cheating. That's what they claimed. I worked on a project with a friend, but the day before submission, she deleted my name, erased all my work, and turned it in as her own.
And she accused you of cheating just to get you kicked out? Abby didn't answer. He just stared out the window. Why didn't you report her? That's so messed up.
Because I cared about her. I just wish I could have been in the photo with her. Harvard, full ride and all.
Zoey?
You know her?
Know her? She was my idol. I couldn't believe how upside down everything suddenly felt. The successful girl turned out to be the cheater, and the failure was actually a genius. I should go. On the porch, Zoey called out from across the street. I pretended I didn't hear her. My stomach was in knots. Ugh, I felt gross. I collapsed onto my bed, but something else started eating away at me. After all those tutoring sessions, something had shifted. Abby wasn't just hurting because he got betrayed. He was hurting because he got betrayed by someone he loved. He loved Zoey and still wanted to protect her. There was no space left in Abby's heart for someone like me. After that, tutoring felt mechanical. We barely talked. I'd teach, he'd listen. Sometimes I snapped at his sarcastic comments way too fast. Time's up. Bye.
Mira. Wait.
Even Grandma and the kids noticed something was off. It was like a little storm cloud followed me around everywhere.
What's wrong with Mira?
I bet she's heartbroken. It's always like that in the movies.
Mira's not feeling well. Come on, little kids, let's give her space.
So, this was heartbreak, a romance that never even had the chance to begin facing. Abby became heavier every time. Honestly, this job had always been kind of pointless. He didn't need me.
Why are you resigning?
I took a deep breath and confessed everything. How I'd lied about having tutoring experience. How I'd taught him things he didn't even need. I'm sorry, madam. She tore into me. I deserved every word of it.
Stop it, Mom. She gave it everything she had.
His mom paused, then opened her designer purse and dropped a thick stack of bills in front of me.
I thought I'd finally found someone who could help Abby. Here's your pay. Take it and go.
I can't accept this, madam. I'm sorry. The rain had to stop, but it felt like I was carrying a storm inside. The job was over. I'd never go back there, never see Abby again. I buried myself in pizza deliveries, trying to stay busy, but everything just felt emptier. One night, after a long shift, I was biking home in the dark. I turned onto my street and froze. Standing right there in my front yard was Abby.
I need to talk to you.
We just sat under the hazy glow of the street lamp.
I wanted to thank you for everything you taught me.
I didn't teach you anything. You were already a genius.
You taught me how to love life again. I shut myself off for so long. I was hiding.
And now
I want to go back to school. I want to live again.
I wanted to hold his hand. I wanted to hug him so bad, but then I heard footsteps behind us. Zoey froze when she saw Abby. So did he. She walked toward us slowly, her eyes darting between us.
I didn't expect to see you. Not after everything.
Abby didn't say a word.
I know things didn't end well between us, Abby, and I've hated myself for that. I know what I did was wrong. I never meant for it to go that far. I'm so sorry. I want to make things right.
She had no idea I already knew the truth. Abby stared at her for what felt like forever. I couldn't read his face.
You can't fix this. But Mira did.
Get it? I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just wanted you to know. I'm sorry for everything.
And with that, she turned and walked away, slowly disappearing into the dark.
You were there for me when no one else was. Thank you, Mira.
I cruised through town on my beat-up little bike, the sunrise warming my face. I slowed down as I passed through the fancy neighborhood and spotted Mr. Cranston walking his pet, and there was Abby. Ready? He gave me the tiniest smile. Then his mom stepped out and waved at us.
Good luck on your first day back, sweetheart. And Mira, thank you for everything.
I nodded and took off down the street with Abby by my side, riding straight into our next chapter.
Hi, my name is Kane, and I'm from Brazil. Please like and subscribe to Luna Avata. Even though my parents were poor, I always had big dreams as a kid. When I was 8, my best friend Gangle and I used to sit at the bus stop on the weekends and would admire all the fancy cars that would drive past. Wow, did you see that? BMW? I want one like that when I grow up.
I believe you'll drive a car like that one day, Kane. Remember what our teacher said? If you believe it, you will have it.
Gangle also came from a poor family, like me, and I cared about her a lot. Once, when we were in the 8th grade, she couldn't bring her lunch for the whole week because her parents were so broke. And even though she came up with all sorts of excuses not to take my lunch, I wasn't going to leave my friend to starve.
Kane, I'm not that hungry. Please, I don't want to take your lunch.
You know you don't have to have pride with me. Come on, let's share.
Okay, but next week is my turn to share with you.
But when next week came, Gangle had more than enough to share with me since her dad got a big good job in the city.
I got us candy bars today.
Wow, thank you. I'm really happy that your family's doing well.
Yeah, and there's something else I need to tell you.
She looked a little sad, and then I felt sad when she told me.
We won't be living in the same place anymore. We're moving to the city, and I won't be in this school.
I was happy for Gangle because she was going to have a better life, but I was sad since she was my best friend. We promised to write to each other every month, but as time went by, she stopped writing, but I didn't. I started focusing a lot on my studies when Gangle left and became the top student in my school. When I was in 10th grade, I got selected to participate in a national math tournament. When I was at the tournament, I was so happy when I saw Gangle. She was also selected from her school. Gangle, she looks so beautiful now. Gangle looked at me like she didn't even know me. Or maybe it was because I also looked different. It's me, Kane.
Oh, hi. It's been a while.
She looked down at my shoes and made a face of disgust.
I'm guessing you're still stuck at the poor people's location.
If that's what you call it.
Okay. I have to go. My friends are waiting.
That was not the Gangle I knew, but I didn't let that distract me. During the tournament, I beat all the kids, even the rich ones from Gangle's school.
Well done, Kane.
Thanks, Gangle. And it was nice seeing you again. As I walked to the hallway, a tall man approached me. He was the principal of the most expensive school in the city. It was the same school Gangle went to.
Well done on your achievement today. I would love to have a student like you at my school.
Thanks, sir, but I don't think my parents can afford your school for now.
You would definitely qualify for a scholarship, and I could help you with that.
When I told my parents about the offer I got from the principal, they were so happy. Dad immediately spoke to one of his friends who lived closer to the school to accommodate me, and he gladly accepted. After a month, I moved into Dad's friend's house. He had a daughter who was my age, Pomni, and she was on another level of always being happy.
I've always been an only child in this massive house. It's just me and my father. I'm so glad to finally have someone to talk to. Come on, I want to show you our swimming pool. I've won 5 gold medals. It's because I practice every day.
Thanks, but swimming is not my thing.
What? Swimming should be everybody's thing. What would you do if the world comes to an end and the entire earth gets flooded? It has to be everybody's thing. Then I'll teach you. Let's go.
Pomni was so persistent about everything I did, everything she asked me to do since her father was super kind to me. She never mentioned her mom, and I didn't want to intrude. When Pomni and I entered the school gates together, all eyes were on us, and I didn't understand why.
Oh my gosh! Everyone thinks I'm dating the new hot guy.
Which new hot guy?
You silly! You're really cute. Don't you know that?
I blushed when she said that because I never really paid attention to how I looked, since I focused so much on getting high grades. And then as we walked into our next class, all the girls started tapping the seat next to them.
Hey, new guy, you could sit next to me.
Oh no, you should really sit next to me. I have all the answers to everything.
Pomni suddenly hid behind me when she saw Gangle walk in, and then she took my hand.
He'll sit next to me. We come from way back. Isn't that so, Kane?
I saw Gangle glare at Pomni sternly, and she quickly ran to her seat and didn't look at me for the rest of the day. Gangle pulled me along with her everywhere in school, and because I missed her so much, I stuck with her.
I'm so happy that you're in my school, Kane, but we got to get you some new shoes, okay?
But these are my favorite shoes, Gangle.
I know, but change is good sometimes. Look at me. I live a fabulous life, which starts with how we look.
Pomni walked past me and Gangle like she didn't even know me, and when I saw her after school to find out what was up, she acted like everything was normal. Hey, you suddenly avoided me. What happened?
Nothing. I just wanted to give you and Gangle your space. She seems to really like you.
Yeah, we're old friends. Are you afraid of Gangle?
No, she's just this popular girl who gets everything she wants. And I don't want any trouble at school, so we could just be friends at my house.
Okay, if that's what you want. The next day at school, Gangle immediately approached me and took me to a quiet place. And then she took a new pair of sneakers from her bag for me. I felt very uncomfortable taking them. But these are my favorite shoes, Gangle.
Kane, it's rude not to take a gift. You know that. Remember that time you made me share your lunch and I took it?
Yeah, but I was helping.
Take my gift, Kane, please.
I looked at her eyes, and she looked like she was about to cry, so I took the shoes. But it didn't stop there. Gangle changed my whole look, and I kind of liked it, but hanging out with her and her friends felt awkward. Like this one time when we were in 12th grade, they invited me to a beach party, and when I decided to bring Pomni along, Gangle acted like she owned me.
Kane, can I speak to you alone, please?
She seemed angry, and I left Pomni waiting for me.
Why did you bring her to a party that I invited only you to?
I live in her house, and she's my friend, so I thought it'd be okay.
Well, it's not okay, and I'm not happy. You were my friend first. In fact, I think I like you more than a friend now.
Gangle suddenly kissed me, which caught me off guard. Before I could react, my phone rang, and it was my dad. Sorry, I have to take this. My dad called to tell me that in a month's time, they would be losing the house because he lost his job. Gangle could see that I wasn't okay. And because I was so worried, I ended up telling her everything.
So you're going to be homeless?
No, I won't allow that to happen.
Well, I don't know how you will do anything since you're still in school, but if you send Pomni back home and tell her that she's a loser, then I'll speak to my dad to help your family.
What? I can't do that. Pomni's family is helping me, and she's a good person.
She's a freak, Kane, and you're hot and smart, and I want you all to myself.
I was so turned off with Gangle. She wanted me to hurt another person for no reason, and I just couldn't do it. I went back home with Pomni, and she was happy to get out of the party because it wasn't her vibe either.
Maybe we can go get some ice cream.
Yeah, let's do that.
What did Queen Gangle say? You look so unhappy after you spoke to her.
Don't worry about it. I don't think I'll be hanging around her anymore. After our fun ice cream date, I started growing really fond of Pomni. She was sweet and accepted me for who I am. She was still very hyper about many things, but I started loving that about her. And then after the weekend, when I went back to school, everyone looked at me differently. Even the girls who used to drop hints at me now looked at me like some poor, pathetic boy.
I can't have a homeless boy in our school.
I spotted Gangle talking to a group of kids. I stood behind her. She was talking about me.
Kane is a total fake. I had to buy him clothes and shoes because his family is going to be homeless soon.
Wow. But how can someone so hot be so poor?
Gangle, how could you do this?
Oh, speak of the poor devil.
She looked at me coldly. And then I took off the shoes she bought me and threw them in her face. Congratulations, Gangle. Money has turned you into a real witch. I walked away from her and Pomni ran after me.
Kane, wait. Don't throw your education away because of her. Gangle did something really humiliating to me once before, and that's why I stay away from her and whatever she wants.
What did she do to you, Pomni? Pomni started crying and I hugged her. Then she told me that she was the popular girl at school once before, and Gangle was her best friend until she told everyone her big secret.
Gangle kept asking about my mom, and then I told her something my family never shared with anyone. My mom is in a mental institute. Gangle told everyone at school. From that day, everyone called me a mental case.
Oh, Pomni, why didn't you tell me this before?
Because I didn't want you to think that I was a mad person. I'm not my mother. I'm me.
After what Pomni told me, I wanted nothing more to do with Gangle. I completed my last year of high school with Pomni by my side, and her dad also helped my parents not lose the house. Thank you so much for all that you did for my family. I hope to pay you back one day, sir.
You have a bright future ahead of you, Kane, and it was a pleasure having you in my house.
I'm going to miss you so much.
I got a scholarship to study medicine in one of the most prestigious universities abroad, and my school helped my parents pay for my flight ticket since I was the best student they ever had. I worked hard in university and became one of the best heart doctors in the world, and when I went back to Brazil to visit my parents, I also paid a visit to Pomni and her father.
Kane, I'm so glad to see you.
Pomni looked emotional. What's wrong?
My dad is in the hospital. It's his heart.
I spoke to the head of the hospital that Pomni's father was in, and I was ready to do anything to save him. While I was at the hospital, one of the nurses suddenly approached me.
Kane.
I couldn't recognize her since she had her hair covered up, and when I looked closer, it was Gangle. Hello, Gangle.
Wow, you're a doctor now?
Yes, and I am a very busy person, so please excuse me. I walked past her, and I could feel her eyes still on me. But she was someone I forgot about a long time ago. After my successful operation on Pomni's father, he couldn't stop thanking me, and I was happy that I was able to do something good for him and Pomni.
Kane, you are like my angel. You always come into my life at just the right time. When I was lonely back at high school, you filled up my life, and today you saved my father.
I comforted Pomni, then suddenly Gangle walked towards me. What can I do for you, Gangle?
I just wanted to say I'm sorry to both of you.
She looked really sincere, so Pomni and I forgave her. She asked if we could have dinner together. I looked at Pomni, and she nodded, so we hung out together. As we sat in a restaurant, we actually enjoyed ourselves, and when Pomni excused herself to go to the bathroom, Gangle confessed to me.
I still love you, Kane. I don't know what came over me in high school, but I've changed now.
I'm sorry, Gangle, but I'm in love with Pomni, and that's why I came back to Brazil. Gangle understood and then got up and left.
Where's Gangle?
She's gone, so it's just the two of us. I stepped forward, Pomni's, looked into her eyes, and told her how I felt. Pomni, will you go out with me on a real date?
Oh, yeah. So I guess I did get the hottest guy in school after all.
She always knew how to make me blush. Never let your current situation determine your future. When life throws you lemons, make sweet lemonade.
Hi, I'm Aria from Atlanta. And before I tell you a story you'll never forget, please like and subscribe. I lived in a mansion with my single mom, who ran a successful makeup chain. Mom was really particular and a total neat freak, but I was her total opposite, an absolute mess.
Aria, fix your hair. You look like a troll, and wipe that mud off your face.
Since Mom started a career as a supermodel, she wanted me to follow in her footsteps. So when I turned 11, she got me into a huge fashion show. But I took one step on the runway and fell on my butt. Sorry, Mom tried her best to tame me, but I showed no sign of improvement. It was just the way I was. The only person who accepted that was my bestie, Annie. Her mom worked for us, and sometimes Annie would tag along to help her mom out. Not only was Annie super funny and a great cook, she was a low-key genius and would help me study all the time. Why am I not getting this? Am I stupid?
No, you're not. You're just looking at it the wrong way.
She was the reason I didn't fail my middle school, and everyone adored her, especially Mom. She often said that Annie was beautiful and reminded her of herself when she was younger. Mom liked Annie so much that she even invited her to join us on a trip to France. We were having so much fun till this woman walked up to us and said to Mom,
"Oh, wow. Your daughter is so beautiful. Like a fresh daisy."
"Excuse me, I'm her daughter."
Really? Well, I'm sure you have an amazing personality."
I wanted to kick that woman's French butt. It's not that I didn't like her complimenting Annie, but it made me jealous that Mom didn't even correct. And after that day, I just didn't like it when Mom paid Annie any attention. One afternoon, I came home from tennis practice and found Annie and Mom raiding my closet. What's going on?
I'm giving Annie some of your old clothes. Doesn't she look fabulous?
The way they were laughing and prancing around without me, it made my blood boil. I snatched a skirt out of Annie's hand, then started shouting at Mom. "That's my stuff. You can't just give it away."
I'm so sorry, I'll leave. You can be so selfish. Annie and her mother are dirt poor. She could use these clothes. You were never going to wear them again anyway.
I don't care. Next time, ask me before you give my things away like that. I ran to my room and shut the door. But after a while, I realized that Mom was right. I was being selfish, so I packed a few boxes full of clothes that I knew Annie would like and went to her house. I'm really sorry about the way I acted. Here, you can have them all and more. Will you forgive me?
Of course I forgive you. You're my best friend, silly.
Over the years, Annie and I grew closer, and I even convinced Mom to pay Annie's tuition so we could go to the same school. On her first day, I introduced Annie to my friends, but they just laughed in her face.
Oh my god. Who did her hair? A blind woman?
Ooh, look at that skirt. It stinks. At least it's better than your stinky mouth. Now, if you don't mind, we have a class to get to.
You didn't have to do that. They're your friends.
Yeah, but you're my best friend. There's a difference, and it's called having each other's back, even though Annie had a trashy first day. Over time, her sunny personality won over all my friends. Not to mention, she was great at everything. Annie tried for the cheer squad, and they made her captain. She baked cookies for the whole class one time, and the kids couldn't stop praising her. She was voted most beautiful, most likely to succeed, and had the highest grades in school. Annie even ran for class president and won by a landslide.
I've never met a girl like Annie before. She's the best. Can you ask her to come to my slumber party?
Why? Isn't that only for close friends?
Yeah, and she's one of us now. You should be happy.
Only I wasn't. I loved Annie, but I couldn't help feeling jealous of how perfect she was. And then one day, while I was having milkshakes with her at the mall, someone spooked me half to death.
Hey, Aria Banana, it was Owen.
He was the son of one of Mom's investors and my childhood crush. Are you trying to give me a heart attack? And look at that! You ruined my shirt.
Oh, let me fix that for you.
Annie quickly grabbed a can of club soda and dabbed at the stain. Within seconds, my shirt was all clean.
Wow, that was brilliant. I'm Owen.
She's Annie, and we're late.
Hey, wait. If you guys are free this weekend, would you want to come for a science exhibition?
Science on a Saturday? How boring. I'd rather stick a needle in my eye. You're such a nerd, Owen.
I'd love to come, great.
I'll text you the address.
As Annie and Owen exchanged numbers, I just stood there in shock. Owen had never been this friendly to me, and I'd known him for years. I'd even asked him out once, but he said I was too young, and he just wanted to be friends. But that weekend, after Annie came back from the exhibition, she told me that Owen had asked her out. What? That's not possible. He never dates girls younger than him. What did you do?
Nothing. We just have a lot in common and talked about science stuff.
I was so shocked at what Annie told me that I couldn't stop myself from running over to Owen's house. You said you don't date girls my age. Annie is 3 months younger than me.
I know I said that, but honestly, I was just politely rejecting you. We have nothing in common, and with Annie, I feel complete. She's special, and I think I'm in love.
You met her yesterday, you idiot. I wanted to punch Owen in the face, but I settled for kicking dirt and walking back home. It took me a while, but I somehow made peace with Owen and Annie dating. But slowly, Annie and I started drifting apart. She had no time for me and was always busy hanging out with Owen. You want to hang out tonight?
I can't. I have a date with Owen.
What about tomorrow?
Cheerleading practice. Maybe we can squeeze something in next week.
And the next week, she made another excuse, and I was left alone again. I turned to my friends for comfort, but they didn't want to hang out either. Not without Annie. I was furious at how quickly Annie had taken over my entire life. My friends, the boy I liked, everything. I was so mad I could scream. So I did. At my driver for driving too slow, at the gardener for cutting the grass too short. I even shouted at the teacher in class. Who the heck cares about an isosceles triangle? It's just a stupid triangle. I went straight to detention after that. I took a seat at the back when this girl spoke to me.
You're Annie's bestie, right?
I have a name. It's Aria.
Oh. Whoa, snappy. I was just saying that your best friend sucks. I hate her.
This girl was the first person I'd met who hated Annie, ever since she joined the school. We got talking, and soon I started hanging out with a new crowd. They liked to ditch school, cheat on tests, and sneak out late on school nights. But the best thing about them was that none of them was in love with Annie. After a long time, I was finally having a little bit of fun. But, as always, Annie had to poop on my parade.
You missed class. We had a really big quiz.
I don't care.
Well, you should, because you'll fail your classes if you don't show up for the test.
Why are you acting like you care? You've been ignoring me for the longest time now, so ignore a little more and stay away.
I'm sorry, I haven't been around much. Maybe we can hang out tomorrow. Owen and I are going to the museum. Maybe you could join us.
Maybe you shouldn't be such a big nerd and mind your own business. Annie didn't bother me after that, and I didn't mind either. I had a new set of friends, and I was happy. Then a week later, the school announced the annual parent-teacher meeting, and it was a disaster. My grades were at an all-time low, and Mom was furious. But I wasn't the only one suffering. Everyone had low grades in my group, and some of them were even failing.
I hate those stupid teachers. They think they can rule our lives with their dumb homework and grades.
My dad grounded me for a month for failing a boring class. He took away my Mercedes. What am I supposed to do? Walk everywhere?
Yeah, teachers suck.
I wish we could teach them a lesson.
Maybe we could.
How?
We can ruin their stupid teacher's lounge. We snuck into the school late the next evening, and we trashed the teacher's lounge. We spray painted the walls, poked the microwave and the TV, and we stuffed fish into the vents. We rushed out of there and ran straight into Annie.
Aria, what are you doing?
I could ask you the same thing.
I was studying at the library. What?
Just then, we spotted Mr. Stilson, the janitor, and I rushed past Annie without saying a word. And the next morning, I was sweating bricks when my friends approached me.
What are you gonna do about Annie?
What do you mean?
The principal is investigating the matter of the teacher's lounge. And if she says anything, we're dead meat.
She won't say anything. She loves me too much.
Okay, yeah. That explains why she went behind your back and stole the guy you liked.
I didn't want to think about it, but my friend was right. We could get expelled, and someone had to take the fall. So I made a decision. And later that day, I walked up to the principal's office. But to my surprise, Annie, my new friends, and the janitor, Mr. Silson, were all there.
Mr. Stilson just told me how he saw you and your friends in the hallway after the teacher's lounge was vandalized.
I don't know what Mr. Silson said to you, but my friends and I were there to study. In fact, I saw Annie come out of the teacher's lounge.
What?
She was the one who vandalized the teacher's lounge. I even saw her putting some of the paint cans in her locker. You can check if you don't believe me. The principal checked Annie's locker and found 2 cans of spray paint that I'd hidden there. Annie was expelled immediately. And after that day, she just never came to my place with her mom. I didn't expect her to. What I'd done was horrible. A few days later, I finally built up enough courage to apologize.
How could you do this to me?
I'm sorry, but I had no choice. I would have been expelled. It would have gone on my permanent record. I couldn't let that happen. I am supposed to take over my mom's company one day.
But I lost everything.
Not really. You didn't have much to begin with. And honestly, you weren't even supposed to be at that school. You land on your feet. You don't need a college degree to be a maid. Annie slapped me, then slammed the door in my face. The next morning, her mother quit, and they left. I tried to reach out to Annie, but she ignored my calls. Couldn't blame her. I hated myself for the things I'd said. Things weren't the same after Annie left. My new friends ditched me soon, and all the other kids resented me for getting Annie kicked out of school. When I went off to college, I tried to make new friends. But they were either really shallow or just wanted to use me for my money. I felt so lonely, so I focused all of my attention on my job at my mom's company. But on the day of my mom's retirement party, she called me into her office.
I've decided not to name you CEO of my company.
What? But I've been working so hard. You promised that I would take over once you retired.
I did. And I appreciate your hard work too. But this business is all about making relationships, and you're not good at that.
I'm not? You have to give me a chance.
Honey, there are no second chances in business, and you're really not cut out for it.
And now she was telling me that after all the time I wasted in making Mom happy, I felt betrayed and lost. Now I know how it feels when someone you trust stabs you in the back. This is exactly what I did to Annie. And if I had to start over in life, it had to be by apologizing to her. I looked Annie up online and learned that she had married Owen and moved to California to become a celebrity chef. She owned one of the most popular restaurants in Hollywood. I paid a fortune to rent out the restaurant for an entire night and ordered Annie's most famous dish. After I was done, I made a special request to thank the chef. When Annie came out, I took one look at her and started crying.
Aria? Is that you?
Annie, I know you probably hate me, and you should, but I have to say this. Your friendship was the most valuable thing I had, and I threw it away. Please, please forgive me. I wish I could turn back time, but I can't.
Hey, listen. I'm not holding on to any grudges. Whatever happened is in the past now. I was really angry for a while, but I've moved on. And so should you.
With that, she took me home and made me meet her young daughter. And on that day, I vowed to be better. A better friend, a better person, a better version of me.
Hi, I'm Kaylee from LA. Please like and subscribe. Ever since I was a little girl, I've always loved to sing. My grandma was a professional singer. She sang around the world with the most prestigious orchestras and operas. I miss her and her voice so much. When I got to 10th grade, I became the singer of the family. I went to the most prestigious performing arts school on the West Coast. My favorite class was music, of course, and my favorite club so far was show choir. We had been the best in the state for 14 years, with the trophies to prove it. My best friend, Addison, is also in show choir with me. He and I met in kindergarten and have been inseparable ever since. He's the funniest guy I've ever known. He's also gotten pretty cute over the years, too. Or at least that's what all the girls in school think. But I just don't see him that way. Hard to see someone that way when they used to sneak over from next door and put frogs in your bed. Yuck! One day, our show choir teacher, Ms. Conrad, had big news for us.
We've been asked to compete at this year's National Show Choir competition.
All right.
Yeah! But to ensure we get top scores, the soloists will have to be chosen very carefully.
Ms. Conrad told us that we were going to have to audition for the big solo right in front of each other in 1 week. My nemesis, Heidi, started bragging in front of the whole group.
We all know who's gonna get it! Me, of course. Everyone knows I have the stage presence of a star.
I don't know. I think Kaylee might give you a run for your money. She's got star power and the voice to match.
The others' eyes widened. Were they about to fight? Just then, the bell rang. As everyone left the class, I swatted Addison on the arm. Don't start fights with Heidi! She's my biggest competition!
That's exactly why you have to stand up for yourself in front of her.
I just don't want anyone to think I think I'm better than her.
Well then, I guess that's why I'm here. To remind them for you.
Oh, what would I do without you?
Good thing we'll never have to find out.
I was so nervous, even though I'd sung in front of our choir before. But the pressure was on the whole week leading up to auditions. I practiced in the shower, in the bathroom, between classes. I really wanted to beat out Heidi for the big solo at the end of the show. Finally, audition day arrived. I woke up, put on my cutest outfit, curled my hair, and took extra time with my makeup. After all, if I'm gonna be a big star one day, I might as well start dressing like it now. When I stepped out of my house to walk to school with Addison, his cheeks turned super red. What's wrong?
Nothing, you just look different is all. Your hair is.
Oh no! Does it look bad? Maybe I should have worn it up. I'll just go chance.
No, leave it. You look good. Great.
When I arrived in class, Heidi was sitting in the front row, looking totally perfect. What was I thinking? With her shiny hair, big eyes, and as much as I hated to admit it, her beautiful voice. Why would anyone ever look twice at me? But I just tried to remember what my grandma would always say.
It's not about who sings the loudest or looks the prettiest. As long as your song comes from your heart, people can't help but listen.
So I took a deep breath and sat down next to Heidi, right in the front row. She gave me a once-over and rolled her eyes. Who cared what she thought? I knew I looked great. Miss Conrad sat down at the piano and called Heidi up first. After she finished singing, I applauded politely along with everyone else. Then it was my turn. I stood confidently and turned to face everyone. Addison gave me a thumbs up from the back row. Such a good friend! Miss Conrad played the opening notes for my song when suddenly the door to the classroom burst open behind me. I turned to look, and standing in the doorway was the most handsome boy I'd ever seen. Tall, with long brown hair that felt perfectly into his eyes. He looked just like a fairy tale prince. My jaw dropped. He handed a note to Miss Conrad.
Class, this is our newest addition, Patrick.
He waved to everyone, then put his hand on my shoulder, looked deep into my eyes, and said,
I'm so sorry I interrupted your audition. Knock 'em dead.
Then he took my seat right in the front row. I gulped. Oh, now I was nervous again. I shook off my nerves, took a deep breath, and nodded to Miss Conrad as she played. I could feel the music filling me up all the way to the top. I opened my mouth to sing and let my song come from my heart. When I finished, the whole class burst into applause. I felt like I was walking on air. Patrick got up to sing something last minute. He was so good. The next day, Ms. Conrad put up the list and I had gotten the solo. And she'd even added a duet in the middle of the show for Patrick to sing with me.
Looks like it's you and me, Kaylee. I'm so honored to be singing with someone as talented as you.
I felt my cheeks turn red, and he grinned.
You're so cute when you blush like that. Be careful, or I might just fall in love.
He walked away with a wink at me. I couldn't believe he'd just said that. And neither could Heidi, who'd been listening around the corner.
Don't get too comfy with that solo. Once Miss Conrad figures out that you'll cave at the first sign of pressure, I'll be ready to step in.
Eavesdrop much? Jealousy isn't your color, Heidi. The next day, we started rehearsing for nationals. Everyone was working so hard, and Patrick and I sounded great together. But when it came to our dance, it was like I'd suddenly grown a second left foot.
No, Kaylee, no. Once more from the top.
Miss Conrad, I'm happy to come up front and show Kaylee how it's done.
Not necessary, but thank you, Heidi.
Just here for the team.
After I knocked Patrick over by mistake for the third time, Ms. Conrad called it a day.
Kaylee, please go home and practice.
Ugh! I could have wiped that smug look off of Heidi's face. Everyone went to start packing up their bags, and I started to head backstage to get my bag when Patrick came up to me.
Hey, gorgeous. Want to stay and practice a little with me? Then it'll be perfect by tomorrow.
Oh, I wouldn't want to impose. Your toes must be all bruised.
That's okay. I really don't mind. And I wouldn't mind spending a little quality time with my co-star.
Well, if you insist. Just then, Addison came up to us.
Hey, Kaylee, ready to go?
That's okay. I should really practice a little longer.
I can practice with you. I could use a few run-throughs myself.
Oh, well, Patrick already offered to stay behind and practice with me here.
He did he? How are you gonna get home?
I can drive her.
Oh, do you live in our neighborhood?
No, but...
I mean, if it's not really convenient for you.
I'm not spending time with Kaylee because it's convenient.
Neither am I.
I'm spending time with her because she's cool.
My face turned bright red. Did he really mean that? Addison, I'm gonna stay here too. Just for a bit to practice. I'll see you later, okay?
Fine. If you insist, I'll see you when you get home.
He turned on his heel and walked out. Patrick turned to me with a grin on his face and held out his hand.
Shall we?
We practiced more, and I was finally getting good. Patrick swung me out for our final spin, then pulled me in close and dipped me. That's when I noticed his face was just so close. His ice blue eyes staring deep into mine. Was he gonna kiss me? Just then, all the lights in the theater went out. Patrick dropped me in shock and I shrieked. All of a sudden, the lights came back on and Ms. Conrad stepped back on stage.
Oh, hey, kids. I am so sorry I didn't realize you were still here.
Ugh, I couldn't believe she'd interrupted our moment. Still, we waved goodbye to her and headed out. A little while later, when Patrick dropped me off, he got out of his car to open my door. Such a gentleman!
It was nice hanging out tonight. I'll see you tomorrow, superstar.
Then he wrapped his arms around me and gave me a big hug. Is this what heaven smelled like? Then I headed up the front walk to my door.
So, do you like him or something?
I whipped around and saw Addison waiting on our front porch swing. I don't know, maybe. He's so cute and really talented.
Okay, cool. I guess, do you still want to practice?
That's okay. I think I got it now.
Okay then. Well then, I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Here, I got you a milkshake.
Hey, thanks. He started crossing the yard towards his house. Is it?
Cookies and cream. Your favorite.
Thanks, I'll see you tomorrow.
You know it.
Then it was finally time for nationals. As we arrived at the concert hall, I was overwhelmed by all the other groups here and overheard one girl say to another,
"She was a little flat at the end."
I couldn't believe it. What if I lost us the whole competition? All night and throughout all our warm-ups the next day. It was all I could think about. If I messed up again, I'd be letting everyone down, including myself. And there were several famous music industry people judging the competition. What if I ended my career as a singer before it even started? And then, it was almost time to go up. I tried to calm down, but I was shaking like a leaf.
Miss Conrad, Kaylee doesn't look so good.
Miss Conrad came over. She looked pretty nervous herself.
Kaylee, you look terrible. Are you going to be able to perform?
Of course
Because if you're sick, I can always put Heidi on.
I'm ready to go, Miss Conrad!
Just then, I spotted Patrick warming up down the hall. I just need a minute. I raced down the hall towards him. He was stretching, shaking out his hands, jumping up and down. Patrick! His expression was so strange. Was he nervous too? I'm so nervous. Do you think we could practice?
Kaylee, I'm kind of busy.
What if we?
I really just need some space here. Kaylee.
Yesterday you said we were a team. That doesn't feel like a team to me.
I can't do this right now. Could you leave me alone?
Fighting back tears, I ran down the hall and found a corner backstage. I couldn't let anyone see me so upset, especially not Ms. Conrad or Heidi. What was I gonna do? Suddenly, Addison stepped out of the shadows. He looked so handsome in his costume.
Kaylee, are you okay?
I threw my arms around him. He caught me and squeezed tight. I'm so nervous. I overheard one of the other teams say I sounded bad. Ms. Conrad is ready to replace me with Heidi. Patrick isn't any help, and there's amazing industry people out there. And ugh!
You sounded amazing in rehearsal. Those other teams were just jealous. Forget about Patrick and Heidi. Remember why you love to sing? What was it your grandma always said?
Sing from your heart.
Exactly. Just do that.
I took a few deep breaths, and Addison was right. Will you just run the last part of the number with me?
Of course.
And there, in our little corner of the theater, we stepped, we twirled, we kicked in time together. Addison took my hand, spun me around, and dipped me low. I felt his arm slip. He was dropping me, but right before I was sure I'd hit the ground, he caught me with a twinkle in his eye. I swatted his arm. You tricked me.
I'd never drop you. And even if I did, I'll always be here to catch you.
Thank you, Addison. Then he smiled at me so genuinely, and my heart fell into my stomach. What was that?
Places, please. Students' places. Kaylee, are you ready?
Yes, Ms. Conrad. As we all rushed to take our spots to start our number, Addison shot me a wink.
Knock 'em dead, superstar.
You too. As soon as the lights came up on stage, I felt a little thrill of excitement. We danced, we sang, we twirled. Everyone had brought their A game. When it came time for my duet with Patrick, we totally nailed it. But any spark that had been there was gone. As the opening chords of my solo began, the lights shined down on me, and I opened my mouth, and the music poured from my heart. I knew my grandma was right there with me. I hit my final note and held it out forever, as everyone finished their steps behind me. As we struck our final pose, the crowd erupted into applause. A standing ovation! I beamed. We totally nailed it. That night, after all the points had been tallied, all the teams gathered on stage behind the judges. Addison reached for my hand and I squeezed back. Thanks for the pep talk. I could have never done it without you.
Of course you could have. I'm just here to remind you.
You're always there for me. He leaned in close, and I felt a flutter in my stomach as he whispered in my ear.
And I always will be, if you let me.
I turned to look directly in his eyes.
Kaylee, I have to tell you.
Just then, the announcer started announcing the winners. Second place, runner-up. Our whole team clasped hands and took a deep breath together.
And the grand prize for this year's National Show Choir competition goes to...
As they said our name, the crowd roared. It was so loud I could hardly think. Confetti rained down on us as Ms. Conrad stepped forward to accept our trophy. I threw my arms around Addison, and he picked me up, swinging me in a circle. We did it! We did it! As we packed up our things in the dressing room and said goodbye to the new friends we'd made at the competition, one of the judges knocked on our dressing room door. He was an exec for a record label back in LA.
I was so impressed with you. Your vocals were so clear and you've got some real presence up there. Give me a call if you think you'd be interested in recording a single.
He handed me his card, and I shook his hand, totally awestruck. Maybe dreams really do come true. I felt so relieved. Not only had I not let everyone down, but I'd made myself proud. On the beach, Addison sat down next to me, running a hand through his hair. When he saw me watching, he grinned, and the butterflies were back.
I'm totally beat, aren't you?
Definitely. I got you something.
Oh yeah?
I pulled out a bag of gummy worms and your favorite.
You're the best, Kay.
He ripped open the bag and dug in. Hey, Addison, what was it you were gonna tell me earlier?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, I have something I want to tell you.
Yeah?
I like you.
Really?
Really.
I like you too. I have for a while now.
Really?
Really.
He took my hand and, I know, my cheeks turned pink.
I got something for you too.
Ooh, okay. I love presents. And then he put his hand on my cheek, leaned in close, and kissed me. It was the perfect end to a perfect day.
After 10 years of trying to get pregnant, the woman finally got the great news. But her happiness was short-lived. The doctor looked straight into her eyes and said,
"Ma'am, your baby has Down syndrome."
Months later, she delivered the baby, and it was me, born completely normal and 100% healthy. Everyone said it was a miracle, and that's what my name means. Hi, I'm Nasa from Alabama. But before I continue my amazing story, click like and subscribe. My dad had a mechanics workshop, and I hardly saw him because he worked so much all the time. Even though Mom came from a rich background, she never helped Dad with money.
Isn't that God's will? A man has to sweat and earn his bread and provide for his family. If you want to eat, you better put food on the table.
Once when I was 3, Mom and I visited him at the workshop. He was fixing a car and asking me to hand him the plier. I didn't know what it was, so I just picked up the entire toolbox and put it in front of him. He was shocked.
How did you do that, Nasa?
Just like that, Daddy. It's easy.
Oh my God, you're so strong. Oh, my daughter. No, it's like you're my son.
Why are you looking so happy, idiot? I don't want a manly daughter. Girls aren't supposed to be delicate. This is what I get. After 10 years of waiting, I'm taking her to the doctor.
The doctor said I was exceptionally strong because my muscle strength and testosterone levels were higher than most girls. But Mom just kept calling me a freak. She decided to leave me with Dad every day at work to help him make more money. 2 years later, Mom gave birth to my little sister, Ella. But she was born with the Down syndrome the doctors had predicted for me. The minute we saw Ella, Dad and I were in love with her. And we made sure she didn't feel different growing up. But Mom just couldn't stop complaining about us.
Why is God so mad at me? First, you came out really weird, and now Ella. I must have done something terrible in my life that I'm getting punished for.
She was trying to feed Ella as she whined nonstop. And suddenly, Ella spat out all the food on her face. Gosh, I loved that kid. Mom also didn't allow us to watch YouTube videos because she said it was a sin to do anything fun. She blocked YouTube. But I found an amazing app that can solve it. I took Ella to my room, and we watched videos all night long. One day, when I was at Dad's workshop, a bus suddenly stopped in front of us, and a man jumped off.
Oh my God, girl! Are you for real? You just lifted those big tires all by yourself? I'm already seeing you as an Olympic weightlifting champion.
The man introduced himself as a sports coach and asked me to join his school in California. He also gave Dad his card and said he'd be waiting for us to tell him when we could leave. Dad was so excited for me, and I felt like I'd just won the lottery. But when I told Mom, she flipped out.
Are you crazy? I'm not trusting a stranger and leaving the place and the wealth God's given me here. No one is going anywhere.
I was super bummed at Mom's reaction, but then little Ella came up to me with a solution.
What if Mom has nothing? Let's throw all her money away.
OMG, Ella, you're a genius. Yes, let's donate Mom's money to charity. I found a charity organization and filled out all the forms online. But suddenly, I started to lose my nerve. Maybe this isn't such a good idea, Ella. I don't think we should do this.
Yes, we should.
With that, she clicked on enter, and in a second, Mom lost all her money. Even Dad's workshop was in her name, and it was gone. She threw the biggest tantrum ever and even threatened the organization to return her money. But they refused, and there was nothing she could do about it. Angry and frustrated, she finally agreed to the last option, going to Cali. And she never knew it was us. When we got there, the coach showed us a small house for rent. He also assured us that he'd get special scholarships for Ella and me, and we'd be going to the same school.
How can you be happy about this, Nasa? You know how Ella is. What am I supposed to do? Go to school with her and guard her from the bullies?
You don't need to do that, Mom. I'll handle it. She's mine. On the first day of school, I dropped Ella in her classroom. When I entered mine, I saw no teacher there, but a girl was catwalking in front of everyone. As I tried to slide past her, she stepped on my foot with her pointed heels. I yelped in pain, but she started yelling at me instead of saying, "Sorry."
You idiot!
Why did you bomb my show? I was rehearsing for the beauty pageant contest. Oh, your show. I thought this was a classroom, not a stage. Well, you thought wrong. I'm the queen of the school, and I make the rules. And I say the whole world's my stage. Wow, she seemed crazy and really full of herself. Later that day, Ella and I were eating lunch in the cafeteria when Nancy came over and said we were sitting at her table. Just then, she saw Ella and she started laughing. Oh, you didn't say you have a sister? Well, I can see why. I mean, you must be so embarrassed by her. Shut up, Nancy. You're just embarrassing yourself. You can't talk to me like that. I told you, I'm the queen here, the hottest girl in school.
Why do you have a fever?
I think she does. Ella, let's help her feel better. And with that, I threw a glass of ice-cold water in her face. The whole cafeteria burst into laughter, while Nancy screamed and stormed off. So many people thought Ella was adorable and wanted to be friends with her. Meanwhile, I also started weightlifting practice, and the coach was stunned to see me lifting heavier weights than the boys on the team. One day when I came out of the gym, I saw Ella standing with a sad face outside the dance room. I asked her what had happened, and she cried out,
I don't want to be here. These girls are mean. They don't want me on the team.
I barged into the dance room, and I wasn't surprised to see Nancy there. Hey, why did you tell my sister she can't be on the dance team? What's wrong with her? What's wrong? Are you blind? It's obvious she can't do fast moves with us, and we don't have forever to teach her. Now be off with your dee-dee dumb sister. I totally lost it. I walked over to their sound system, pushed over the big speakers, and wrenched out all the wires. As Ella and I walked out, she turned around and locked the door from the outside. That was an awesome moment. But we got caught and ended up in detention. And Mom went nuts when she found out.
God, I knew this would happen. Ella is not like everyone, and she can't be with everyone. You were unkind to that girl, and that makes you two sinners. I'm going to go pray now. I don't want to go to hell with you.
Our daughters are not unkind. I'm sure there was a good reason.
But before he could finish, Mom just pushed him aside and stormed off. Mom is just terrible. The next day at school, I looked for Ella during recess and I couldn't find her anywhere. I was running all over the place, feeling panic rise inside. Where could she be? Just then, I spotted a grand piano in the corridor, blocking the janitor's closet. As I stepped closer, I heard Ella crying out for help. Oh my God! Ella, I'm here! I'll get you out, sweetie! With one big push, I swept the piano out of the way and opened the door. Poor Ella came tumbling out in my arms, crying like crazy.
Auntie told me to go inside.
I was gonna destroy that witch. I stormed off to the dance room with Ella, and before I could get to Auntie, Ella ran straight at her, pushing her aside. They both landed on the floor, and just then, a beam fell off the roof exactly where Auntie was standing seconds ago. Oh my God, Ella had just saved Auntie.
I saw it was falling, so
How dare you touch me, you moron! I don't want your disease rubbing off on me! That was the last straw. I walked up to Auntie and gave her a hard slap. You're a heartless bully, Auntie. You think she's weaker than you, so you pick on her. But here, she is saving your stupid butt after everything you've done. She's got more heart and strength than you ever will. And you could learn a thing or two from her. We all could. Because Ella is freaking amazing. Just then, I turned to see lots of kids had followed us into the dance room, and they were all clapping and cheering for Ella. Everyone started to boo Auntie, and she ran off crying. When we got home, I couldn't wait to tell our parents what a hero Ella had been. But we found the two fighting loudly.
I'm not putting up with your embarrassing daughters anymore. My church friends say they are weirdos. Do you know how that makes me feel? I'll stay only if we give them up for adoption. Decide.
That is the easiest decision I've ever had to make. You're a selfish, horrible woman, and you don't know how to love anyone. So please, for the love of God, get out.
Wow! Dad finally spoke up. Mom shouted and cried, but Dad just threw her bags out on the street, and our lives at home became so much happier. The next day when we were leaving school, Auntie suddenly leapt out from behind a tree and spat at Ella. I was about to attack her, when suddenly a well-dressed man stepped in and grabbed Auntie's arm.
What did I just see? Auntie, I can't believe it! How could you be so cruel to this child? You're grounded for a very long time. and you're off the dance team.
Dad, you can't do that!
Keep talking, and I'll ask the principal to expel you myself. Apologize now.
Well, the queen bee finally bowed her head. Also, it turned out that Nancy's dad was a big shot doctor, and he offered to take over all of Ella's medical bills and help out with any therapy she needed. When Mom heard that Ella wouldn't be expensive now, she contacted us by saying that she was sorry, and she always knew we were special. But we told her to leave us alone. After a year of training, the coach said it was my time to shine. He entered me into many weightlifting competitions, and my medal collection has just begun. And I always have my biggest supporter cheering me on.
Hi, I'm Ariana from New York. Please like and subscribe. When I opened my eyes to this world, the first person I saw was my dad. And since that moment, I adored him, and he loved me like crazy. He gave me everything a girl could dream of. I loved my mom too, but she was a little harder to like. She had a serious problem. She wanted everything clean. I mean, really clean. Like when I was 4, Dad smudged a piece of birthday cake all over my face and Mom went ballistic.
Oh God, she's all dirty. Now I'll have to bathe her all over again. Why'd you do that, John?
Ah, come on, it's her birthday. We're just having fun.
Mom and Dad would always argue because she was such a clean freak. She took the fun out of everything we did. Once in 2nd grade, my school had a mother-daughter bake-off event, and Mom wore plastic gloves the whole time. And she was so picky about everything.
Are you sure you washed the bowl properly twice with hot water?
Yes, Mom. I washed it like 10 times already. Now can we start baking? Because everyone is way ahead of us.
But these spoons look like they need to be sanitized.
I got so mad that I took the spoon and licked it. There! Now it's sanitized. Mom looked like she was about to freak out. I felt bad, so I got a new spoon and washed it well to ease her mind. But Dad and I had so much more in common. We laughed at the same jokes, watched the same movies, and we enjoyed our PlayStation challenges. Beat you again!
Ah, how'd you become so good?
I learned from the best.
Huh, you got that right.
But my world turned around in 7th grade when my parents decided to get a divorce. I knew they fought a lot, but I hadn't seen this coming. It broke my heart when he moved out. I still saw him every day. And I was slowly adjusting to this new life when Dad dropped another bombshell on me a few months later. He introduced me to his new girlfriend, Amanda. She looked like she was a college graduate, and she was super pretty. I disliked her instantly.
Oh, hi, cutie pie. You're just as adorable as your daddy said. Here, I got you a present.
Why was she talking to me like I was 5? Thanks, but it's not my birthday.
Oh, I know when your birthday is, but one can give presents at any time, right?
I reluctantly pulled out a t-shirt, which was cute, but I just shoved it back in the bag and dropped it on the ground. I don't think we have the same taste. You can return it.
Ariana, you need to be nice to Amanda because she's being nice to you.
And from that day, Amanda was like a pimple that wouldn't go away. Every time I visited Dad, she was there, trying to act like we were a happy family. She also kept smothering me with gifts and her fake love just so I would like her. But I hated her because she took my dad away from me. And even worse, Dad married her a year later. I was still struggling to deal with all of this. So I created a YouTube channel called Dads and Daughters. When I showed it to Dad, he loved it. And every day after school, he'd pick me up and we would create cool ideas together for the show. Once in 9th grade, Dad and I were at a restaurant, and when he went to the bathroom, his phone started buzzing. It was Amanda. You know he's at dinner with me. Can't you let us have some time alone?
Ariana, please give the phone to your dad. I don't have to explain myself to you.
And I don't have to give your message. I hung up and switched off Dad's phone. He didn't notice until the end of dinner that his phone was off, and when he switched it on, he looked shocked at his messages.
Oh my God. Amanda fell down the stairs. She's been trying to get in touch with me for 2 hours.
And when Amanda told him she'd spoken to me, he was furious. He'd never been angry at me before, and now he was practically shouting.
You will apologize to her or I'll cancel our YouTube show. I mean it.
I went up to their bedroom where Amanda was sitting up in bed. I'm sorry, Amanda, I guess. I was about to leave when she suddenly grabbed my wrist.
You better listen to me clearly, Brett. I'm here to stay whether you like me or not. And if you keep behaving this way, you won't be welcome in our house anymore.
It's my dad's house.
And mine. Don't mess with me again, Ariana, if you know what's good for you.
Just then, Dad walked in, and she was all smiles. She was more evil than I thought. She would definitely try to push me out of Dad's life. And just a few days later, Dad told me that he and Amanda had some big news.
You're gonna be a big sister soon, Ariana.
A big sister to what?
Your dad and I are having a baby. Isn't that great?
Did they expect me to be happy? All I felt was anger and heartbreak, but I managed a small smile. Congratulations. And soon after, when the baby was born, Dad looked at her the same way he looked at me and called her his little princess. That's what he used to call me. He was too busy being a new dad to shoot more episodes for our channel, and I decided I needed to stay away from him and his family. Amanda had won. Maybe Mom noticed that I was really downcast because one day after dinner, she said the two of us should go out for ice cream. I could see she was trying to connect, and I agreed. She wore her gloves as usual anytime she went out, but it didn't bother me anymore. I'd learned to accept her the way she was.
So tell me what's bugging you?
I feel like Dad doesn't love me anymore.
Honey, that's not true. You'll always be his little princess.
No, he has another princess now. Mom stayed quiet at that and just hugged me tight, and then she gave me some news.
A girl from Thailand will be attending your school on an exchange program, and she'll be living with us for some time. Are you okay with that?
Mom worked in a company that dealt with exchange students, but it was the first time we'd had one as a guest. As long as I don't have to share my room, I guess it would be cool. A week later, we fetched Macy from the airport. She was a short, cute girl my age, and she was so excited when she saw us.
Hi, I'm Macy. It's so nice to meet you. You're both so pretty.
And the whole ride home, she just wouldn't stop talking.
The flight was so long. I'm so excited about school tomorrow. Have you ever been to Thailand?
No, but
Oh, it's such a beautiful place. You should visit. Maybe when I go back for the holidays, you can come with me. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, it would, I guess. Gosh, I had to live with this chatterbox for the next 12 months. And the next morning, she woke me up at 4 a.m. so that we could go jogging. Couldn't even say no because she was our guest and I was trying to be nice. When I showed Matsy around school on her first day, she spoke to just about everyone. I was quite popular at school because of the YouTube show, and it felt a bit embarrassing that she said anything that came into her head. I could see people laughing at her. Later that day, when school ended, I couldn't find her anywhere. That's when she texted me to come rescue her because some kids had locked her up in the janitor's closet. Listen, Macy's things are different here. People here don't just start talking to strangers, and we don't talk that fast. We let others speak and listen to them.
Okay, so I shouldn't speak?
No, you can speak, just not so much.
Oh, I see. But those girls were really mean to me, and I hadn't said anything mean to them.
I know. People can just be jerks sometimes. When we go out of the school gate, I spotted Dad's car, and he was waving at me. He said he'd been wanting to catch up with me, and I was really surprised and happy. That is, till I saw the new baby was with him. Amanda apparently had an appointment with the doctor, and Dad was taking care of my baby sister, Kara. I introduced him to Macy, and then he took us to the aquarium. Dad picked up Kara from her seat and held her in front of me.
Ariana, can you hold her for a moment?
What? I don't know how to hold a baby.
Don't worry, I can do it. She's so cute.
Thank God for Macy. She looked like she was really good with babies. And then Dad put Kara in her stroller. Macy was excitedly taking pictures of everything, and Dad and I just walked quietly through the aquarium. Things had changed between us, and we didn't have much to say to each other anymore. Just then, his phone rang. It was Amanda. Our trip was over, and he dropped us home.
You don't like your baby sister very much, do you?
I never said that.
Come on, you didn't even look at her. I'm not blind. I can tell when someone...
And suddenly, I just lost my temper. Can't you ever be quiet? I thought we spoke about this earlier. Please just leave me alone. I just stormed off to my room, and I didn't even go down for supper that night. And the next day, I sneaked off to school without Macy. I wasn't really angry with her, just my situation with Dad. When she arrived at school, she left a note on my desk and then quickly sat down. The note read, "Sorry for talking too much." I looked back at her, and she smiled. She was an odd person with a big heart, and I couldn't help smiling back. As we sat down during recess, the same girls who'd locked her the day before walked up to us.
Hey, Ariana. You still have your walking-talking parrot with you. Aren't your ears bleeding by now with her non-stop chatter?
No, I really like listening to her, but your voice is giving me a headache. So please go away and get a life. But just then, the girl dunked her juice on Macy's head, and I pounced on her. As we rolled around fighting, Macy came running and sprayed ketchup all over the girl's face.
Don't hurt Ariana, you witch.
We all ended up in detention, but it was totally worth it.
Hey, thanks for standing up for me and saving my butt again.
I should have never told you to act differently. Just be yourself, okay? What a mistake that was. It was hard to stop her, especially when we watched videos together on YouTube. She had a running commentary going the whole time. Soon after, it was my 16th birthday, but Mom wasn't keen on having a party at home because of the mess, so Macy and I just went out to celebrate. As we were shopping at the mall, we bumped into Amanda and Kara. Maisie immediately went all gaga over the baby, but I just stood on the side silently.
Happy birthday, Ariana.
Oh, you must be Ariana's stepmom. It's so nice to finally meet you.
I hated the word stepmom. I didn't want her to be anything to me. Come on, Macy, let's go!
Wait a second. It's funny that I bumped into you. I just bought you a gift.
No thanks. I don't want anything from you.
Why are you always like this? Ariana, I've really tried.
Can you drop the fake nice act, please? The only thing you've tried to do is steal my dad and you succeeded. Have you forgotten that you threatened me?
Ariana, I was angry with you then. I didn't really mean anything.
Before she could finish, I just started walking quickly. I heard Macy
Ariana?
calling my name, but I wanted to get away from Amanda. Suddenly, I heard a scream, and I turned to see Macy slip on something and fall to the ground. I rushed over to her, and she was unconscious. Amanda quickly called an ambulance and went to the hospital with me. I was so anxious as I sat there waiting that I just couldn't stop tapping my foot. Amanda sat next to me and comforted me, and I felt better. The doctor came soon and said Massey had a minor concussion and that she was okay. When I went to her room, she was sitting up in bed. As I sat next to her, Matsy took off the locket she was wearing.
I want to tell you something, Ariana. I had a baby sister too, and she was 3 years younger than me. She was my best friend, and then she died 2 years ago.
My eyes welled up as I looked at her sister's picture.
I carry her around with me everywhere. Love the people around you while you can, so you never have any regrets.
The doctor said she could go home, and I found Amanda was still waiting outside for us. She drove us back home. When we got there, the house was pitch dark. Just as I opened the door, the lights came on, and many people yelled surprise. It was my birthday party, and Dad was there along with my friends from school. Mom, I thought you didn't want to get the house dirty.
Don't worry, I'll sanitize the place once the party's over.
I hugged Mom and Dad, and then I turned to Amanda. Thank you for being there for me today. And I'm sorry for how I've treated you. I really am.
Can I give you your present now?
You already did. I picked up my baby sister and hugged her tight.